My name is Jacob McKee, and I'm a 22-year-old photographer living in Denver, Colorado. I moved here about 2.5 years ago for school, and I'm studying graphic design. I'm going to a place called Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design, and I've really enjoyed it so far. The whole reason I decided to study graphic design as opposed to photography is simply because I felt like I had a pretty good background with photography, and I wanted to make sure I was more well-rounded in the professional field. And I think graphic design and photography complement themselves really well. With that said, my passion is photography, and that's something I've been doing freelance and as a hobby for about 6 years now, and it's been really good for me. Composition is something that has always been really important to me, just because I've always tried to organize my life in some way. And with a camera, you have a frame, and whatever is inside that frame is your photo, your composition. And that's perhaps my favorite thing about photography, challenging myself to take a scene that we see every day, whether it's the city view of Denver or the mountains in the distance, and framing it in an interesting way that most people don't see. That's by far my favorite thing about photography. Something I really enjoy about where I live here in Denver is I can drive 15 minutes and be at Red Rocks, a beautiful outdoor amphitheater, shoot some landscapes. Or I can take a 10-minute light rail ride downtown and photograph really whatever I like. We have wonderful landscapes. I could go down to the Rhino District, photograph some portraits with the graffiti. I can go wander around downtown, shoot various time lapses. I found a lot of cool spots that I really like shooting on parking garages, different buildings, different rooftop bars. There's a lot of cool stuff here in Denver, and again, as a photographer, it's a dream. Every day we're witnessing the changes that happen to our environment. We're seeing all the cars flowing down the highway, we're seeing the clouds change, we're seeing the sunset. But we don't really register quite how drastic those changes are. Time-lapse is a great way to show that off, and that's why I really enjoy it. Especially here in Denver, we have weather changing very quickly. We also have the skyline changing quickly. There's a lot of growth going on. So I find it very fascinating being able to show all that change in a short period of time. So what I'm doing here is I'm setting up my time lapse. When setting up a time lapse, one of the most important things to pay attention to is your composition. Composition is one of those things that, with all the editing programs we have, all the capability we have, we still can't change our composition for the most part. It's still going to be the same perspective we shot it from, and it's still going to be everything that was within that frame. When I first started getting serious with photography back in high school, I really tried to shy away from commercial work, paid work. And that was simply because I thought it'd take the passion I had for photography away from my photography. I felt that if I was doing it for money and I was shooting stuff that I may not be interested in, I wouldn't enjoy my job. I found that that was actually quite the opposite. I found that by shooting real estate, by shooting stuff for various corporations around town, I've really gotten out of my comfort zone, and I've gotten to experience a lot of cool stuff. That's one of my favorite things about doing photography as work. Not only do I get to do what I'm passionate about every single day, but I get to experience new things that I probably wouldn't have experienced in any other workplace. In addition, I've splurged a little bit on some trips. Just this last summer I went on a backpacking trip to Europe, and I got to visit one of my favorite cities, Barcelona. I got some fantastic photos there, and I'm already planning a trip back just because I really enjoy capturing the architecture through my photography. I'd consider myself to be a bit nostalgic, and I really enjoy my friends, my family, and remembering the times I've had with them. And that's one of the biggest draws to photography for me in my personal life, just to record the moments and capture what we were doing in just a beautiful way. Over the 6 years I've been shooting, I've started to notice how important just taking the photo can be. Oftentimes, I've been I've often told myself, no, I'm not going to go out to the mountains just to take one photo. It's not worth it, that kind of stuff. And I found, yeah, that one photo is certainly worth it. If I go out with my friends and I take a photo with my iPhone, that'll be a fantastic way to capture the moment. But if I commit and I bring out my nice camera and I put some effort into it, I'm going to walk away with a fantastic image that I'm going to look at for years to come and just be psyched about it, because it's a fantastic representation of how much fun and how much enjoyment I was getting out of that day. And I'd say that's the difference between me and someone just taking a photo with their phone. I really understand how valuable that simple shutter click can be to capture that moment.
So where do you see your photography career leading to?
Ideally, I'd love to work for National Geographic. I think it'd be great considering my graphic design background and my photo background. I think it'd be a great fit for me. Composition is a big theme in my life, and I've really enjoyed creating magazines and books and various layouts for literature in my graphic design work. So I think if I were to get a job with National Geographic, not only would my photo background really complement what they want me to do, but I could also potentially work on the magazine and that side of things as well. I think that'd be a fantastic job for me, and I really look forward to pursuing it.